Hello everybody. I would like to welcome everyone here tonight to Council's future Nillumbik committee meeting and wish to advise that the meeting will be live streamed and recorded, and the live stream and video recording will be made publicly available on YouTube and Council's website. For the benefit of those watching at home, I just want to confirm that we are conducting this evening's meeting in a COVID-safe manner. In addition to the physical controls in place here at the Civic Centre, both councillors and council staff are practicing social distancing. As per COVID-19 live broadcasting guidelines, those who are speaking on camera are permitted to remove their face masks. Well, at least that's what it says here, but we're not wearing face masks tonight, so that's under the directive issued last Sunday, I believe. Moving on to the second item, acknowledgement of country. Nillumbik Shire Council acknowledges the Wurundjeri people who are the traditional custodians of this land. I would like to pay respect to the elders both past, present, and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians present here today. Item 3, apologies. As all councillors are present, there are no apologies. So we'll move on to item 4, confirmation of the minutes. Do I have a mover to confirm the minutes? Moved Councillor Egan, seconded Councillor Payne. All those in favour? And that is carried. All right, item 5, disclosures of conflicts of interest. Are there any councillors wishing to disclose a conflict of interest? None. Okay, so we'll move on to officers' reports. So the first officer's report relates to the proposed road discontinuance at 50 Kangaroo Ground, St Andrews Road, Kangaroo Ground. Do I have a mover? Councillor Payne.
So I would like to move the motion as follows, that the committee, acting under delegation from council, having followed the required statutory procedures pursuant to sections 207A and 223, shall I put those on the pack?
Sorry, Councillor Payne, I'll just stop you there. Blaga's reminded me that we have a speaker tonight on this item, so I would like to invite Glenn Law from Kangaroo Ground CFA to speak to us first.
Mayor, councillors, other committee members, thank you for the opportunity to speak, even though it was the only submission. My name is Glenn Law. I'm the captain at the Kangaroo Ground CFA Brigade, and I speak on their behalf. Firstly, I just wanted to stress that the brigade supports a submission on the basis that we're not impinging on any of the existing boundaries or fence lines or anything like that. We're not trying to extend the land grab. But the brigade has been located on the current location since 1980, and the brigade have been very active in the area since 1892. We've been maintaining the area around the station on the area in question, slashing, picking up the fallen timber and generally keeping it in condition. And we use it for training, car parking and things like that as well. We weren't aware that the land wasn't actually part of the station grounds until we submitted a application for a building permit when we found it out. So it's very supportive and pleased that the council has taken this process. Acceptance of the submission would enable the land to be transferred to council and consolidated with the existing land and give some security to the brigade for the ongoing use of the land. It would also enable us to then build this covered area, which we want to use for as a community area for training and for community education. So it will be of great use for the overall community. So once again, thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. There we go. All right. Oh, do we have any questions for Glenn? Sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Thanks for the presentation, Glenn, and for the work you do for the community more broadly. I was just wondering, are there any fences to remove or any other work that needs to be done that council might need to consider into the future?
My understanding would be no.
Sorry, Glenn, could you just turn your mic on?
There would be no fences that need removing. The existing fences and boundaries would remain. The roads are inside or outside those boundaries, or the old road, yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but just I'd like to say thank you for the work that you do. I went for a drive so I could have a look to see for myself. I was very impressed.
Thank you very much. I'll pass that back to the brigade. They'll appreciate that.
Thanks, Glenn. All right, I will now ask for a mover again. And thank you, Councillor Payne. I'm afraid you will have to read from the beginning again.
That's quite all right. The warm-up, I needed it anyway. So this is the motion that the committee, acting under delegation from council, having followed the required statutory procedures pursuant to sections 207A and 223 of the Local Government Act 1989, and pursuant to its power under clause 3 of Schedule 10 of the Act, having considered the submissions received in response to the public notice regarding council's proposal to discontinue the road adjoining 50 Kangaroo Ground, St Andrews Road, Kangaroo Ground, which is shown as hatched on the plan contained in attachment 1 to the report. 1, receives and notes the contents of submissions received in response to council's public consultation process relating to the proposed discontinuance of the road. 2, is of the opinion that the road is no longer reasonably required for general public use. 3, resolves to discontinue the road and transfer of the land to itself. 4, directs that a notice be published in the Victorian Government Gazette under Clause 3A of Schedule 10 of the Act. And 5, notifies submitters of its decision and reason for its decision and thanks them for their submissions. That is the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Payne. Can I just draw your attention to the screen where the word "of" has been crossed out in the part 3? Can you confirm if you're happy with that change?
Yes, resolves to discontinue the road and transfer the land to itself. Yes. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Thank you, Councillor Payne. Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Egan. Would anybody like to speak to that? We have no speakers? Okay. So I'll put it to a vote. Those in favour? And that is carried. All right, moving on. The next item is Whittingham Circuit, Greensborough, public notification on the proposed sale. There are no speakers to this item, so can I ask for a mover? Councillor Stockman?
Yes, I'd like to move the motion to accept the recommendations as per the papers.
Thank you, Councillor Stockman. Do we have a seconder for that? Thank you, Councillor Egan. Councillor Stockman, would you like to speak to that?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to say a few things and to keep it very transparent, and we'll be coming back next week on this, but it's a project that I believe has had some pretty good consultation. It's very visual. It's right out the front of the council offices here. And in fact, I'd say it's extremely visual, this project. So if anybody does have submissions, we saw 0 submissions, certainly would like them to contact myself or council. I think it'd be irresponsible to turn this down. I think that would be economically and also socially too. We've seen the businesses in the area, which I'm the Blue Ward Lake councillor, and this our greatest business district is right here in Apollo Parkways. And I've spoke to a few of the business owners there, including the manager at the Ritchie's IGA, Mintu, and the much needed, it's a residential area. It goes in character with the rest of the area. And I believe business needs a few more residents on this side. Just on my own, I've actually been spending a bit of time in Apollo Parkways, and my own determination of the area. It's a very, very close-knit area, and I think they'll accept these apartments or townhouses very much so. But last thing I'd like to say too is that I'm very contactable in a lot of ways, so I do reach out to the ward to contact me, and I really, that's part of this whole process, to be very transparent. And having the 0 inquiries means that I think the people of the ward are certainly pretty happy with this project so far. It's my motion is for the councillors to accept this recommendation as per the papers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stockman. Councillor Egan, a seconder, would you like to speak? Are there any other speakers? Councillor Perkins.
Thank you, Chair. Look, just to support the motion and support the ward councillor and Councillor Stockman, this process has been ongoing for since 2010, November 2010 actually. longer than I've even been here. There was a decision to prepare the concept plan in November 2010. Then council completed the public consultation to sell the land in May 2012. So one would have thought that this would have all been wrapped up by now. But the lots we're talking about have been offered to the market on 2 occasions. We had a buyer on both occasions, but at the last minute, on both occasions, settlement wasn't achieved. So we're out to the market again, and hopefully this will be resolved sooner rather than later. But it has been a long time coming, and I support the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Perkins. Would anyone else like to speak? Councillor Duffy.
Thank you. I'd like us to support the motion as well, but in considering this development opportunity, I'd also like us to consider the opportunity for it to be made available for the state government to consider as public housing and community housing. It's one of the things that I'm really interested in council, to make sure we support everybody. So we need more affordable rental homes, short-term crisis accommodation and transitional housing in our area. I've become aware that Nillumbik is rated number 12 in terms of council areas within our state in terms of the need for social housing. So in supporting this, I'd like to consider that it's another opportunity for emergency and crisis accommodation as well, if there's a purchaser that's willing to do that and the state government is doing a big build. So just as another opportunity, because it's a great location, it's close to preschools, primary schools, the sports centre. There's lots of reasons why it would be great to come and live in this area.
Thank you, Councillor Duffy. Would anyone else like to speak on this item? All right, in that case, I'll put it to a vote. Those in favour? And that is carried unanimously. All right, moving on. The next item is the disestablishment of the Nillumbik Municipal Emergency Management Planning Committee. There are no speakers for this item tonight, so can I ask for a mover? Councillor Perkins.
I'll move the motion as per the papers.
Thank you, Councillor Perkins. Can I ask for a seconder? Councillor Egan. Councillor Perkins, would you like to speak to this item?
Look, just very quickly, I've been chair of the Emergency Management Planning Committee at Nillumbik for quite a while, and that's about to end. So there's been some changes to the Emergency Management Legislation Amendment Act, which is 2018, that says from 1st of December 2020, there are some changes that have come about as a response to that legislation. And it requires at the municipal level these amendments to take effect for the responsibility of municipal level planning, and that responsibility has to be transferred from councils to a new multi-agency municipal emergency management planning committee. So under this reformed planning framework, the Nillumbik EMP will report directly to the North West Metro Regional Emergency Management Planning Committee. That's a mouthful. From the 1st of December, the Municipal Emergency Resource Officer will no longer have legislative backing. Instead, there will be a new role of Municipal Emergency Management Officer, and the role of the Municipal Recovery Manager will be formalised. So until this point, the functions of the Muro continue. The role of the Municipal Fire Prevention Officer will continue under the planning reform, but will no longer include a legislated planning function. Instead, fire planning would fall under the new integrated planning arrangements. So under the new arrangements, the memo, or the MEMO, has been nominated as the chair of the MFPC, as well as the Municipal Council's representative to the REMPC. So these changes will take effect. We have a draft of the terms of reference for the Municipal Emergency Management Planning Committee. There is still the opportunity, as presented in the appendix there on page 34, for voting members from Council, Victoria Police, Ambulance Victoria, Red Cross, CFA, Department of Health and Human Services, Fire Rescue Victoria, the SES, community representatives from Plenty Valley FM and others to be advised. We've got recovery representatives from Nillumbik Shire Council, Salvation Army, Victorian Council of Churches, Emergency Ministries and any others that the committee deems appropriate. There'll also be a number of non-voting members, so there will be plenty of opportunity for really all agencies involved in emergency management across Nillumbik to be involved, as well as some good community representation and even councillors if councillors wish to go along. But those arrangements will be ratified at the next MEMP committee. So they are the changes briefly outlined. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Perkins. Councillor Egan, would you like to speak? Are there any other speakers? In that case, I'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? And that is carried unanimously. There is no supplementary or urgent business and no confidential reports. So in that case, I will conclude the meeting for tonight. Thank you everyone for coming. I conclude the meeting at 7:15.